going to talk about real quick how you can pick the dental school that's best for you and how to pick dental schools to apply for. First, I would take into consideration your credentials, or like what classes you've taken, shadowing hours, volunteer hours, and see what schools require. That's going to narrow down a lot of the possibilities. Like if you just look and see like if you even meet the requirements for a lot of them. That way you're not applying and paying all this money for something they're never going to accept you because you don't even have the requirements. So do that. That's very important. After that, I would look into the location, see if it's somewhere where you would actually want to live. Look at the program, look on student forums to see what people's experiences are with the school, like if the faculty's nice or if they had a good experience with it. Most dental schools are going to be pretty good and you're going to be fine going to it, but there's going to be a couple where you might want to see if it's really the environment you're looking for. After that, I would just start looking at the stats of getting in. Like if you're applying out of state, look at what percentage of out-of-state applicants that they accept and percent in-state. That way you can determine if there's a high probability if they're looking at more out-state applicants than compared to in-state. And then also look at their average GPAs that get accepted, average DAT scores, and how many shadowing hours they want. That way you can kind of narrow it down to be like, okay, these ones I have a very high chance of getting in, and these ones are going to be a little more competitive, and these ones are just completely out of reach. Now you can obviously apply to as many as you want, but it's a lot of money. So you want to be kind of selective of who do you apply for. Like I would apply to a couple where it's pretty much a safe bet that you'll get in, just to, just if all else fails, you'll go there. But you still want to make sure it's a school that you'd want to go to. Like look at the tuition and the location, like I mentioned before. See if it's somewhere you want to live, and if it's too expensive, like that's super important to determine if the cost is even worth doing. Like if you're going into $500,000 of debt, it might not be worth going to that school. You might want to just apply again and save yourself from all that debt. And a lot of people forget about doing that. They just kind of apply wherever and just go wherever, but you got to be kind of smart about it, especially financially. So look at the location and tuition, see if it's even a place you want to go in student forums, and then look at the stats and determine how you compare to the averages. And if you have a good shot getting in, I would apply to at around 10 unless you have crazy good stats. Like if you're getting like a 24 on the DAT plus or whatever and got like a 4.0 GPA, then you could probably get away with only applying to 5 schools and you'll get in. But if you're like, for me, I got a 20 on the DAT and I had a 3.86 GPA with a 3.74 science GPA. And on the DAT, I also got like a 24 or 23 on the PAT section. So I had decent stats, and I had a lot of shadowing hours and a lot of volunteer hours. So, and I applied to 10, and I got a bunch of interviews, but it let me be more selective. So if you have really good stats, you can get away with only applying to a couple, but on average, apply to around 10 just to be safe, like a couple safety net ones, and then the ones that you really want to. And then if you have really lower stats, you're going to have to apply to a bunch. And honestly, I would just avoid even applying to the really competitive ones because there's no point really. It's a lot of money. And I have a couple friends that have applied like 2-3 years in a row who haven't had the best stats, and they never they don't have a chance really getting into those really good programs, but they have a better chance of sneaking in or sliding into like the lower requirement dental schools. So I'll just focus on those, and maybe you have to apply a couple years to get in, but that's what you have to do. Hopefully this helps.